I would like to start this video by saying that the channel updates are at the end, but I assume you want to stick around from the comeback, but if you don't, just poke around at the end, you'll find the channel updates. You'll want to look for a laptop with its screen off, but anyway, let's get the main show started. Kind of dried up about ideas for a special thing. I've got plenty of normal video ideas, and then this was basically about the most exciting one that I could come up with. This is the compact Presario 1260. A few days ago I stumbled across an ISO image for its QuickRestore media. Oh, Discord. I will provide a link to this ISO in case you have a similar machine. It's also good for 1255, 1257, something like that. I'll tell you for sure in the video description, but as you could see, it's based off of PowerQuest, and it's going to be a factory image. This thing is original to having Windows 98, so it'll be nice to have it back on here. I'm not exactly entirely sure if this is Windows 98 2nd edition or 1st edition that it came with. Most likely 2nd. I did put its original 4GB hard drive back in it before it had, I guess, a 40GB drive. No, it's sitting inside. So, it is booting. And only modded Windows 98 has a different start screen here, unfortunately. So, the suspense will continue. But I bought this computer for, I believe, $15 on September 3rd, 2015 at a Salvation Army thrift store. It had it had a pretty bare bones, no programs added install of Windows 98. When I got it, it was not factory. The battery still worked slightly, but it doesn't work at all now. And when I say it worked slightly, that's probably an overstatement. I mean, its charge lasted a solid 5 seconds, and then it never charged again. Okay, so it's just booting up currently. Looks like we're gonna go through the found new hardware thing. Oh, probably just for the printer port, because that's the only thing that I've changed from its default configuration. But as you can see, we have the lovely Presario Internet PC background, and let's see about that. Is that, oops, was that 6:00 something? So it shoved us up an hour. Whoops. And the time zone is not right. Oops. There we go. So it does look to be original. When I finished, oh wow, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, it's still doing stuff. I remember back when I had the original hard drive for the Presario 3550, I remember trying to restore it, and I remember seeing this thing, and then for whatever reason afterwards it would fail. I think it was due to me having a network card in it, but I had no idea at the time. I was like 11. I suppose I can probably check if this is 2nd edition or not. Whoops, what's going on with my button? Oh well, it's not 2nd edition, but if this is the original version for this computer, then I'm fine with that. I suppose this is, I suppose that was probably Internet Explorer 4, but I'm not sure exactly. So it's booting back up here. I assume it's probably going to have us make some kind of account or go through some kind of setup wizard or something. But while it's booting, we can talk a little more about this laptop. It had I believe 64 megabytes of RAM originally, 32 soldered and 32 in the expansion slot, I believe. And now it has, I believe, 144 megabytes of RAM. I mean, you would have just saw the number, but wishy-washy me can't remember that for nothing. It has a 4 gigabyte hard drive inside of it, which is the original hard drive. Has the original CD reader. It does manage somehow to read CDRs. 1.44 megabyte floppy drive and a card bus slot. If you've seen previous videos involving this computer, you might have heard about the great tragedy where I broke the touchpad cable. I finally found a suitable replacement, and it's especially important on this computer because not only does it do touchpad, but it does these buttons, which I guess aren't useful, but it also does your microphone and speaker input and output, respectively, and your volume control. Moving on to the rear, we have the power jack down there, parallel port and serial port, VGA, well, cooling fan vent in between that, and then the one single USB port and a keyboard mouse PS2 combo port, your modem interface, and a Kensington lock connector. I've always thought of this laptop as kind of like a cheapo one. Like, its quality is still fairly decent as far as compacts go. They've never been the most durable thing to ever exist, but it's not bad. It's just not extremely featureful. I don't know if the models similar to this, like the 1255 or 12 whatever, vary in their performance-ness. Well, I know they vary in performance, but I'm not sure if they vary in terms of physical laptop features. And wow, this is taking a long time to start up, but I guess that's kind of par for the course, because it just got restored. What is it even doing anyway? Okay, it's doing something. I was expecting just, the DOS style window, but it's got full... Well, I suppose it's still DOS style, but you know what I mean. So that's interesting. I have to manually reboot it. So I guess I'll do that. I don't know what's going on with my camera today, but everything looks so grainy, at least on the preview. I don't know why. So I guess it's going to boot up once again. Oh, so it automatically does come with the PHDisk thing. As it would turn out, my camera was in landscape mode, so that was making things worse. Oh wow, it has a virus scanner. What is it? 10berry software, scan PM. I'm sure that's legitimate. Okay, so here's the fun part where we put in our name. Okay. I hope it doesn't ask for a product key. It shouldn't, but I don't think that there's actually one on this laptop, and it doesn't really look like there was. It must have been in the whatchamacallit, the papers that come with the laptop, Oh, poo! So I didn't actually mean to not show you the key, but I copied the one from my Compact Desk Pro EN, which was original to Windows 98, and actually has a Windows 95 key as well. And I believe that was actually a second edition key, so it's slightly weird that it worked, but it did. Vibrating. Okay, so the time zone is right. I don't know why we're setting that up again. I guess because technically that wasn't the true time that we set it up before. Must install a printer. Oh, before I can print. Yeah, I will be printing now. I have the hard drive bracket for this, but it's not currently installed, so that vibration's probably going to be a common theme. So we're updating system settings, and then I presume we'll probably go to the desktop. I swear, the hard drive sounds a bit like crickets. Pretty decent music.
Welcome to your new compact Presario Internet PC. You've made a good choice. Your Presario Internet PC will open up new worlds in which to work, play, learn, and explore. But first, you need to register your computer. Registration is important because it puts all your warranty information on file. It allows us to more efficiently process any service and support needs you may have in the future. So take a few minutes to register and make sure you receive everything you are entitled to with your new Presario Internet PC.
Kind of weird that was in widescreen. Ah, boy. Children under the age of 16. That's interesting. Never seen that age as a cutoff. Usually seems to be 13 or 18. Fancy pen graphic. So we'll go ahead and just click cancel. I am sure that I want to cancel. I'll be reminded in 2 weeks. So we do have a copy of Word 97 here. It appears to be legitimate and activated and all that, so that's cool. Registration, of course. Trip Mapper Basics. Never used that, but I assume it's basically like a road trip planning thing. Quick and Basic 99. I know what that is. Never used it. Oh boy, wouldn't be complete without an AOL trial, would it? So we got pretty standard things. Compact diagnostics, compact support host. Oh, I guess it is McAfee virus. That's going to be going away. System record. System tools. Oh, just a handy little folder. What is this? Well, this is interesting. Hey, where'd you go? Come back. Wow, that's not something I understand. Oh, it looks like... Okay, it's a remote control software, so that's kind of interesting. Service connection, I think that's kind of the same thing. Well, I don't know, maybe that's just notifications, I don't exactly remember. But diagnostics, it's, I guess, kind of useful, but I wouldn't really say diagnostics, it's more just tells you stuff about the computer. Yes, so we got a K62, 333 megahertz. So we have pretty much... It is a desktop processor. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but it's kind of interesting. It might be able to be upgraded, but I don't think by much. I think the best bet would be like a 366 megahertz processor. And that's interesting. That's not really exiting. There it goes. So let's see here. We have the compact wallpaper, of course. Why am I right-clicking everywhere I go? There. No other fancy wallpaper, so they have the compact screensaver. Ooh, it does. Now I say the compact screensaver, but there's definitely multiple. Yeah, so this is the one that I was expecting. My Presario 3550 had a very similar screensaver that came with it. I don't know if it's the exact same graphics. Probably not, because this seems to say Presario notebooks in a lot of spaces. But I definitely remember that image. So it's almost the same. Does it have settings? Oh, that's interesting. You can... Wait. I think that's something Compact was supposed to do. That's weird. Now what is back web? Didn't select. Well, that's weird. I guess it's supposed... Are these supposed to be clickable? That's weird. Can't say I've ever seen anything like that before. Yeah, we'll go with the Presario screensaver, of course. So let's see, maybe there's some other goodies here. Microsoft Works. Encarta 99. If this works, this will be the very first copy of Encarta 99 that I've ever seen work. License agreement, that's a good sign. Oh. Well, there you go. Who knows? I do have a 99 disc, but who knows if I put it in there if it would actually work. So you have virus scan, as I mentioned, we can get rid of that. Works is always cool. And then random, oh yeah, trip maker. Oh boy. Oh, hold on, what's this? We got fax and whatever that thing was. Well, what's this? What? That looks pretty. I'm sure it's supposed to look like that. Oh, there we go. I mean, I guess. I don't really know what this is about. So my suspicions were correct. It is Internet Explorer 4. And for some reason, I guess maybe it didn't exist yet, but it does not have the compact throbber here. So I'll definitely be adding that at some point. But of course I'll be updating it to Internet Explorer 6. One thing that is interesting is that IE4 has this animation on here. I don't think other versions of Internet Explorer have that. It's not interactive, is it? No. So here's that trip maker software. It's basically what I expected. These seem a little broken, but let's just see if we can go to the map. So if we, how do we do something? Let's just try a postal code. Nope. Okay, we'll try the respective city. Well, there you go. Very basic, but it does work. And we'll try something in the Freedom Land. Will it do American zip codes? No, it will not. I don't even remember the town that goes with that one. But we can try good old Pittsburgh. Wow, that was a lot more scrolling than I would expect for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's not like it's small or anything. But as you can see, it seems to have a lot more detail for American places, which that's probably where it's intended for. And I think Rand McNally is a American company, so that just happens to make sense. Here's an example of its route calculator. So I selected my two example cities and set, well, I believe Pittsburgh is the origin and then North Bay is the destination. It says driving time 11 hours, 2-day trip. Seems fairly reasonable. I would not necessarily want to do that in one day. But of course, I'm not going to either of those places. But it does seem to provide detailed instructions, and I find it funny how there's like exact times for all this stuff. Like, start driving 8 a.m. Get on the I-279 at 8:02 a.m. Get on Trans-Canada 69 at 9:32 a.m. So that's kind of weird. I don't know. There must be something that it wants you to stop at. What does it want you to stop at? You just stop driving there? It doesn't look like there's really... Well, it's not going to tell us about anything if there's like a hotel or something there, but there certainly doesn't seem to be. Apparently, that trip will cost $0. I assume you have to set it up. Online bargains. Am I sure I want to connect to the internet? You know, I'm not too sure anymore. Whoops. Forgot how these things work. It appears I cannot go any farther east than Newfoundland. I sadly cannot make my trip to the Soviet Union today. So one other feature that I think deserves to be looked at is the Hibernate feature. And this becomes a thing in about the mid-90s with laptops, maybe some desktops too, that use the Phoenix BIOS. And basically it relies on a utility called PHDisk to add Hibernation support to the low-level system, not really Windows itself. So if you push it, it might vary by computer, but usually it's you push the power button or a specified key combination, and that will initiate the hibernation. So if I do that, you could see that there's a preparing for standby thing. And now PHDisk takes over, and as you can see, it's a dedicated save to disk manager, and it tells you what it's doing. And it's the most thorough hibernation screen that I've ever seen. Second most thorough was probably the Windows XP hibernation, because at least you got a progress bar. I don't think any of the other ones did that. And then it shuts off the computer, and when you want to turn it back on, you can turn it on, and after it goes through the BIOS and after your camera focuses on the dust on the lens instead of the computer, it will then go ahead and start booting back up. And the BIOS is very slow on this for just a standard run-of-the-mill computer. And as you can see, it's basically just doing the same thing, but in reverse. kind of. It still loads stuff in the same order, I believe, but it's resuming. And you can see this is using the PHDisk 4. At least I think that Note BIOS v4 and PHDisk 4 match up, because I remember kind of such a version when I manually installed this. If you have a laptop with a Phoenix BIOS running some version of DOS or Windows, I will link to the PHDisk utility in the description of this video, and you can set that up using any sort of DOS mode prompt. I mean, I know it works with MS-DOS. It might work with other types of DOS, but I can't guarantee that. But it's primarily targeted towards MS-DOS and Windows computers. And you need, I don't know what exact version, but you definitely need Phoenix BIOS. Although other versions may exist for whatever computer you have, but I just can't guarantee that. And I don't know what is going on with the camera. But as you can see, it's resumed, and it's pretty much like nothing happened, like how Hibernation works on any other computer. Okay, so there's a fun thing that I just noticed. I'm sure you're familiar with the easy access buttons. Basically any consumer laptop or keyboard that's not strictly bare bones probably has a bazillion buttons like this. But for example, if I push one of these buttons, you can see that there's an on-screen display, and for some bizarre reason, email is not available in my country. So here we have Microsoft Plus 98. I do believe it is about time that we install it. It's not especially fancy, but I've had it on here before, so I might as well put it on here again. Oh, not looking to go here. I guess the autoplay is going to open anyway. Let us install Plus 98 and add great components to our system. If the CD drive can handle it, that is. I've always liked these tan graphics with all the, well, not necessarily because of the dithering, but the tan graphics that these 98 and Millennium wizard things have. I don't know, they're just fancy. Okay, do I have to enter the real one? Or do you like that? McAfee virus scan. I already have that. I hope I don't get two. I'm gonna deselect this because I have the full version. But I think everything else I'll leave. Yeah, I think that looks good. Alright. So I guess we'll come back when this is done. Hopefully the CD drive just doesn't die. And here we are. We are just about to reach the completion. Cool. Sure, I'll configure my desktop theme. Might as well save this as something. Seems legit. But I believe we might have a fancy looking sort of boot loader thing. Or not, boot splash. Might even be a shutdown splash too. Yeah, okay, so there is a correct shutdown splash for plus 98. So yes, here is the boot splash for plus 98. It's nice and colorful. It looks good. I don't know, it's hard to say exactly, but I think it looks a little better than the normal Windows 98 bootloader. Or why do I keep saying that? It's a boot splash. A bootloader is definitely not that. I'm not nearly done setting this up how I want it, but that's kind of the basis of it. So yeah, there's a look at plus 98, and I suppose I can, well, we gotta listen to whatever that is, but I can show you some of the other stuff that's installed. So what do we have here? We've got all sorts of goodies. I forgot about this. Also, everything seems like big now. I guess that's just how this theme is. So we've got a couple games: Lose Your Marbles, Spider Solitaire, some kind of screensaver. Picture It Express. Disk cleanup I think was already a thing, but it sounded like it had more options. Deluxe CD player, which used to actually show you what you're listening to. However, that service and its revival has been dead for a long time. And of course the themes manager, which we saw briefly, and then the maintenance wizard, which is kind of an add-on to this thing, the whatever you call it, but you know. And Spider Solitaire is just like how you might remember it on newer versions of Windows. However, I'm not exactly sure what just happened to those cards. It doesn't seem... Okay, that's just a weird animation, I guess. But yeah, Spider Solitaire. So there you have it, plus 98. One closing note is that this is a active matrix display. My 1065 has a passive matrix display, and active matrix is way, way better than passive matrix, no matter how many times you twist it. But this is pretty much all I have for you. This is kind of a sorry 1,000 subscribers special, but it's, I don't know. I really didn't have any ideas. I'll try to be more interactive with the next subscriber numbers, like probably 10,000 will be the next one. I guess I do have a few channel updates to note. I probably will be I will be getting a new camera. I believe I've decided what camera I want. It's a Vixia, so it's a camcorder technically. I don't remember the exact model, but it was like $100 on eBay, so it's not bad. And for video recording, it's worlds better than this camera. I mean, this camera's nice and dandy if you're taking photos, but not only does it have this strange mic issue that I think is somehow from the camera being damaged. I don't know how it is, but I've concluded that it's not anything to do with RF interference. I feel like the microphone that's on the camera will be more than good enough, so I'm not really terribly concerned. I mean, it's not like I'm doing studio quality shows either. I'm just making videos of stuff that I enjoy and enjoy making videos on, so, you know. And let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Well, there is the a couple of things that I want to do videos on. For example, that laptop over there. I want to redo my ThinkPad video at some point. And then there's that tablet, which is kind of a laptop as well. I won't spoil everything, but that Packard Bell video that I did talk about on Twitter and possibly somewhere else, I swear it is coming. I might need to re-narrate it because of the microphone bug. I mean, if it's just little bits and pieces and it's not too loud, the noise I don't really worry about, but it's pretty darn bad in that video. And my shop, eventually, as you can see, I'm kind of making insulation. It's basically plastic. It's a layer of foam, and then it's plastic bags, and then it's another layer of foam. I can get that stuff from work, and basically I'm just going to go all around it and then cover it with that really thin plywood that I have there. And it's probably not going to be great, and it's extremely flammable, but I mean, it's better than the current situation and probably just about as flammable. 200-year-old wood is very easy to catch on fire. But thank you for 1,000 subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed your time here. And if you're new here, I hope you will enjoy the channel, and that applies to existing subscribers too, I guess. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, about anything, or the road forward, or whatever, feel free to leave a comment. It's definitely very cool to have a base, but it's not really what drives me. I just do videos because I enjoy it. But it is really cool that people actually care about it. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day, or night, or whatever.